my God, I almost choked. It's my karma. Hi. I cut my hair again. It's literally as short as we can go before I have to start doing some crazy stuff to it. I have my 2022 list of goals and things. We're going to talk about them today. I'm just going to try to ride this year out and have very few expectations of myself. This is a goals list that I feel like is reasonable if I just discipline myself. And that's the point of this year, is to not put abundance of stress on myself, to do what I know is going to help me and what matters to me, obviously, because they're my goals. I'm setting them for a reason. But also to treat myself with kindness this year and understand that if I fall short, it's okay. As long as we're moving forward, we are moving forward. So without further ado, let's get into it. I grouped the categories. So we've got personal, social, financial, brand/business, and then like an overall category. I'm kind of really impressed by this, and I thought it was really cool to kind of visually connect it. My biggest categories are personal and social. And if you asked me last year what my biggest goals would have been, they probably would have been more focused on business stuff and kind of like establishing what I wanted to be like in the future. The social category is new for me, and I'm probably the most excited for that and the social aspects of the personal goals. Let's get into it. All right, so for personal, this is probably my biggest category. There's some in here that kind of overlaps with businessy type stuff, but then things that I know are just plain good for me. The first is, I'm not going to say the title of it. Okay, good. It's on my whiteboard. I still have to erase my 2021 whiteboard. We're off to a slow start on the 8th of January. I'm not going to say the name of it because that'll give away what it is, but I was working on a gift for someone very special in my life. I finished it. I finished writing it, and I just need to get it printed. So I have to do all this formatting stuff that is really complicated, and I've been putting it off. First bucket goal in that personal category is to get that book in print, that gift in print. Did I just announce? It's fine. Number 2 is to read more fiction. As you can see, I've got this wonderful bookshelf case thing behind me, and there's a million books in here, and they are all nonfiction. There's one fiction book, and it's this one, and I'm like 5 pages into it. I want to read more fiction. I read a lot of nonfiction because I like the fact that I can learn more about people's lives, especially autobiographies and people who are reflecting on their lives and what they would have done differently and things like that. But fiction is something that I think could really help give my brain a break. Like, I never really stop trying to do something that's productive for me. And that's kind of unproductive, I'm realizing. Like, you need to actually take breaks in life to be effective. And I feel like saying that I want to read fiction books will get me more into story and creativity and this like kind of narrative that I'm not necessarily exposed to, though I oftentimes just kind of narrate my days anyway. But I feel like that would be a good middle ground for me between trying to do something productive and just wasting away doom scrolling on TikTok or Instagram. Like, fiction books kind of in the middle of those two, and I think that would be really good for me. The next one is to create a conscious home. So I'm moving out of this apartment. I have another 3 weeks left here. I'm still trying to figure out where I'm going next. I really want to be in like a house style place though, like a townhouse with maybe a roommate, or move into a house with an open room. But I just never really did anything with this apartment. Like, it's pretty big and I don't have a lot of stuff, and I got away with the whole like minimalist thing for a while, but it's just an empty box really. Like, I've got a couch and there's just not that much life in here. I had an empty bedroom except for like an open shelf thing in there and my bed for like the entirety basically of living here, and there's no life. Like, plenty of people when they walked in here were like, this is such a sterile apartment. I want my next home to be a conscious home. I want everything to have life. I want to be in a place where there's just life, and it's warm, and it's me, and there's a personality, and it's something that I've actually put in time and effort to try to make good, and that'll make me feel good when I go into it. I think that's something really important that I neglected this year because I just didn't want to spend money on furniture, and I just wanted to get out of my parents' house, and that's all I cared about. Next year, we're going to do things differently. This year, it's 2022 already. One of them is to travel to 3 new places and also try to get some solo travel in. So this could be as simple as me just picking a random city that's close to the city that I'm currently in and just going there for a day, trying to get out more. What I've realized with this pandemic that we honestly have no idea when it's going to end is that there's so much kind of local to wherever it is that we are that we might just like take for granted, or at least that I've taken for granted because I know it's there. You know, I always put my sights on, oh, like California is so cool, or there's all these places, you know, overseas that I want to visit. And there's so much that you can do here. And I think it's a really good way for me, at least, to test how much I really do want to travel, because I've been getting the travel bug recently, but I don't really go anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't step 1 be don't go to the same coffee shop that you go to every single weekend, try somewhere else? I actually did that today. So maybe we can say that I checked that one off. But it's really my goal to travel more. And on top of that, something that I would also like put into that category is I am making it an obligation that I take myself on one date night or date day a month. It's got to be on the calendar. It doesn't matter what we do, but there will be a day or night, depending on what the activity is, where I specifically carve out, it's me on me. That's it. Sounds intense. I want this to be an adventure. I want it to be a conscious day where I'm choosing myself every second of the day. I wake up, I take a wonderful shower. I get the fancy Starbucks drink that I normally wouldn't order. I get the expensive takeout that normally I would avoid because I don't want to spend the money. I'm going to take myself somewhere. It doesn't need to be exorbitant. It doesn't need to be a lot of money. But if that's what I'm craving that month, that's what we're going to do. You have to show up for yourself. That's something that I haven't been doing recently, and probably the entirety of my life I've kind of abandoned. I always try to put people in front of me because it makes me feel good to put people in front of me, and I'm realizing that that's ass backwards. And if I don't learn to put myself forward and put myself first, I'm gonna be last. So there's gonna be a day once a month. I can't do it more frequently than that because I know that I won't commit to it. So at least 12 times this year, I'm going to treat myself like I want everybody else around me to treat me. And the next one is to cross one bucket list item off. Admittedly, I don't have a bucket list today, but I want to do something this year that I know would be on a theoretical bucket list, or maybe I create one. All right, that's it for personal. Let's move on to social. So social bucket, I'm actually kind of like the most excited for. I'm not going to lie. We're going to start out mellow, is to call my grandparents more often. I recently lost my grandfather. He passed away a month ago, and it put into perspective for me just the fact that I don't really call my remaining grandparents. I fortunately have 3 left, and it's something that I want to do more, is just call them more and check in on them more and just do like a quick hello. I don't do it ever, honestly. I mean, I speak to them and I see them, but I don't really ever do that consciously. So I'm going to try to do that more often. Let's go for the next 3 real quick. I want to host more dinner parties. So when I move out and like get settled into my new place, like I'm realizing that I actually really love to do that. When I was in Colorado a few weeks ago, one of my friends had a cookies and cocktails party, and it was so fun. Like, they had all their friends over. Everyone either baked cookies or made cocktails. We did like fun charade type games, and it's something that's like such a good middle ground between like doing nothing and going out and spending a lot of money at bars, or just kind of doing something like that that's fun but kind of wasteful, in the sense that you're not actually like getting together with people and like getting that camaraderie, so to speak. I want to host more dinner parties. I want to have people over and cook for them. I love cooking. I love sharing energy with the people around me. I love showing gratitude for the people who have made their way into my life and stayed. And that would just be like so much fun to have like a group of people, you know, once every few weeks, where even potlucks, like I don't need to cook. Like we could do like a potluck night where everybody brings their own thing and you have people around. Like I just want there to be more conscious socializing like that. and I want to do that. I feel like that would be a lot of fun for me. The next one that's kind of going to negate what I just said about nights out at the bars and things not really being, I don't know, whatever. I want to have more wild nights out. That's something that I started to do at the very end of 2021 as part of just like healing and moving through my relationship and that ending and that being hard on me. And honestly, that's a part of healing. Like I talked about that one of my last videos where that's a tool in the toolkit. And I'm 24. I never really went out in college. I never really had like a party experience or a typical college experience. I didn't have much of a childhood. Yeah, I just want to have more wild nights out. Like as long as everything's conscious, I want to have fun. I want to have conscious fun. I want to have conscious social experiences where I have people over for dinner. I want to have more conscious experiences where I take myself out on dates. I want everything to be about presence and intentionality this year, including having a ton of fun. I want to go out. I want to get dressed up. I want to do the whole 9 yards with my friends. And I want to celebrate life because life is short and we don't know what happens. A lot is going to be out of our control, and I want to celebrate it while I can. And the last one in the social bucket is to expand my social circle. I've made a lot of new friends this year. I've made like some really valuable, like gonna be for lifers friends, and I've made friends through those people who have become like kind of acquaintances. So it's not that I feel like there's any one particular category within my social circle that's missing. I feel like I've got at this point like a nice good draw of people who I could call and be like, hey, let's hang out, let's do this. But I want to expand more, like I know that that's a pattern of mine. When I find something that feels good, I rest in it and I don't push myself anymore. Like I met this guy that's become kind of like an overnight best friend for me. He's a 4-lifer. And I meet that person and I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. I can't believe that I met them in this completely serendipitous, spontaneous circumstance. And then I'll rest in that. And then I won't go out and do the kind of things that allowed me to meet him in the first place. You know what I mean? So I want to keep just pushing myself to expand that social circle, talk to the baristas at the random coffee shops that I go to, make friends with strangers, strike up conversations with random people, like just keep putting myself out there because I just want to expand. I want to be expansive. I don't want to be contractionary anymore. I want to go and let myself run free and wild, and I want to have fun. That's it. All right, next one's kind of boring, so I'm going to put it in the middle, and this is financial. I want to budget better. I didn't really budget that much this year. I spend way below my means. I'm pretty good about money in general, but I just want to budget better. I want to have a concrete idea of how much I'm spending on my groceries and on entertainment and how much is, getting allotted to bar nights out and all this kind of stuff. I just want to better understand and have control over my finances. I want to get a credit card. I set up a credit card a couple years ago. I never used it. I just used my debit card, but building credit's important, and I want to start doing that now, put like couple dollar charges here and there for my coffee. That's important. And the last thing that I'm putting in here is to invest on a routine schedule. This is not a financial account, but it is a self-development and holistic wellness account. And I think talking about finance is important. I do invest, but it's not consistent. It's not on a consistent routine schedule. All right, enough money stuff. Let's move on to the brand and the business. It's literally 7:30 at night and I'm having a coffee, and that's a problem, but I really just wanted coffee, so I'm having a coffee. Yeah, I'm having a coffee. All right, brand, business stuff. Let's go. 3 categories: YouTube, TikTok, and something new. So YouTube, obviously, gonna continue with my once a week uploads. That's manageable for me. That's all. I'm not gonna add to that. I'm not gonna change that. However, I do want to get more organized with my filming, editing, planning video schedule. That's something that I kind of had organized earlier this year. Again, when life got volatile and I was just dealing with my breakup, I just scrambled, and I've been making these shorts because I can't bear the thought of doing anything or planning, and they get made on a Friday or Saturday, and they get edited on a Saturday night, and they get uploaded sometimes on Sunday morning, and that's just not right. I can do better than that now. I'm going to push myself to be better than that now. So I want to pick 2 film days, 2 edit days, and yeah, just no more filming and editing on Saturday nights anymore. The new thing is TikTok. I know I said I had a new thing outside of that as well, which I do, but I want to start posting on TikTok once a week. I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to let myself wait a little bit farther into the year because I've got a lot to still manage right now, but I want to try uploading a TikTok once a week. I feel like that would be a really good format for me. I've been really loving making these shorts, even though that's not necessarily like YouTube wonderful content like the shorts over and over again. I've loved making them, and it takes so much pressure off of me to kind of come up with a storyline and to edit something perfectly. You could just slap on, like, some of these sounds are so amazing. I hear them and I'm like, oh my God, I love this audio. And I just want to make a video to it with my own thing and my own jams, and just 15 seconds, like, done and dusted. I'm going to start posting TikToks. The new thing, this is actually like new, is I want to work with children in some capacity this year. There's a lot of things that I could do with little kiddos. Pediatric yoga therapy, like I could kind of do something like that where I assist with pediatric yoga sessions. I've been in the past, I haven't thought about this in a little while, but I was getting really interested in and fascinated by Reiki, to do like pediatric palliative care where you're a volunteer and you go to the hospitals and you perform Reiki. That's something that I would, consider doing. I just want to be around kids. I know that my future involves a lot of working in pediatrics, and I want to support children in a way that I was never supported when I was younger. So that could be on the mental health side. It could be on the, the physical health side, visiting kids who are in cancer treatment or things like that. I want to be around kids. I want to do some kind of volunteer work with kids this year. It's super open-ended. I'm going to give myself time to think about it, but I want to just do something with children for sure. That's it. I'm keeping this category intentionally light this year because it's not admittedly like a main concern of mine. I just want to get myself reoriented, rebalanced, recentered, regrounded, and just not put pressure on myself to create or be a certain type of creator. There's a time to hustle, and I had that time a few months into 2021, and that was good for me. And now I'm realizing, before my foot is firmly set in the trap of just building bricks towards a future and a foundation for the rest of my life, I want to make sure that that's exactly what I want. And I want to make sure that I'm prioritizing and optimizing for having fun along the way and being present and not putting a ton of work on myself to get there by X date, because that's arbitrary. And it's honestly kind of a useless metric. I really want to grade my life based on how good I feel doing the things that I'm doing, not on arbitrary success measures that I've indoctrinated within myself or society has indoctrinated within me. So yeah, we'll see. And as long as I can do these 3 things effectively, I'll be proud of myself. That'll be a big win. Even just getting on TikTok and starting posting those will be a huge win for me. And reducing the amount that I make YouTube shorts. I'm hoping that having these film and edit days will help with that. But yeah, we maybe put that in as like a 3A. Those are the main buckets. I have in here just some overall comments that I want for my life. I mentioned that I'm going to be doing the dirty work of healing. I want to sit with the feelings that scare me. I want to really continue to do the shadow work that I've been prompted into the last few weeks of my life. I'm really finally surrendering to it. And the running was a necessary and important part of my healing from the things that have been just really hurting me the last few months. That's part of the healing process. It really is. But I'm ready to move into the next stage of that, and I'm coming back to myself, and I'm recentering myself, and that's really important to me. And outside of that, I just have comments on here. Build your boundaries. I have to build my boundaries and maintain them. If you build boundaries or set boundaries with people, And you don't reprimand people for violating them. They're merely suggestions. It's something that we don't really think about. I don't really think about, but there's no point in having them if you're not going to uphold them and honor them. I want to have main character energy. I just want to keep doing my own thing, literally being the main character of my life, doing whatever I want, when I want. I answer to no one but myself and for myself, and I need to show up first and foremost for myself, and that's something that I definitely want to do this year. And I want to just have like clean, sort of refined energy. Like even on the days that I'm not feeling great or it's not a wonderful day, like you can have a not wonderful day in a nice, linear, not super messy way. And I want to be able to just do that and not mask and not hide from how I'm feeling. And I just want to optimize for having more days that I just feel refined and conscionable and actionable and present. And that's what I mean by that. And yeah, that's really it. It's a leap of faith year. I want to really expand myself. I want to expand my social circle. I want to think about my friends and having fun. And it's going to be an intentionally expansive year. Those are the words that I'm setting for this year, intentionally expansive. I want to have my icon moment. I want to be the moment. I want to be the main character. I want to have fun. And I want to be free. And if I can do that while also checking off some important personal things and business things and manage still working a full-time job and still being a sister, a daughter, a granddaughter, a friend, a comrade, I can manage still going to the gym and worrying about my diet, my nutrition, and my mental health, and my meditating, and my sleeping. Well, saying it like that, I guess I'm not doing so bad. Not nearly as bad as I feel like I am. All right, I'm going to wrap up the video here. I love you all. I wish you a happy and healthy start to the new year. And I don't really have any closing remarks because this video is about me. But just set your intentions for the year. That's it. Like if you do nothing else, just set an intention. How do you want to feel? How have you been feeling? And how do you want to feel? And you go from there. I love you. I'll see you next week.